All right, and everyone's here?
All the commissioners are here. Tyler will be a little late.
Okay, very good. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the Wednesday, December 15th, 2021, Wasco County Board of Commissioners. We appreciate you being here. Kathy or commissioners, there's any changes to the agenda that's in our packet?
I do have one change. Dr. McDonald contacted me and she's called away to a hearing this morning, and there wasn't anybody else available to take her place. So she assured me that there wasn't any major changes, but there will not be an update this morning.
Oh, Roger came for the update. All right. Well, maybe Kathy could just touch on it because I know they had a board meeting last night, and so she's a nurse, right? Okay. And commissioners, any changes from you? Any adds, delete? Okay.
None for me, thank you.
Very good. All right.
Thank you.
Why don't we go ahead and get started? Why don't we start off with public comment? It looks like we'll have a couple minutes, but we want to get through stuff. So anybody out there come today specifically to make public comment on something that's not otherwise on the agenda? All right. Nobody's raising their hand. Okay. Well,
right here.
Oh,
sorry
okay.
about that. My camera seems to be kind of blurry.
Okay.
I apologize.
No problem. If you could tell us who you are.
Yeah, I'm Sage DeLong. I'm the new Eastern Oregon rep for Congressman Bentz. I think I met a couple of you during the AOC meeting. But I just wanted to sit on your guys' call and see how things were run and see how things were doing. So I'll just be here in the background.
Excellent. Well, hey, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. All right. Anybody else? Roger.
Yeah, just a quick question. You've got a work session scheduled for this afternoon. Any particular subject? I mean, last time you were going to go look at Kramer Field. I don't know if you're doing something like that.
Good question. I'll let Kathy Clark answer that because we do have some topics I think that are on our agenda.
We do have a couple of possible items for discussion this afternoon. One of them is an update from Commissioner Schwartz on NCPHD. Another one is a discussion about the distribution of ARPA funds, just a general discussion on that. And then I believe we'll be having our planning director come to talk about an item, this just came to me this morning, so I'm not really versed in it, on environment and energy in the gorge that I believe Senator Merkley has brought forward. And so there'll be some discussion around that.
Great. Thank you. I'll attend probably. Thanks.
So, and just for the record, so work sessions are pretty wide open. We do have topics that we have on the list. We don't always get to all of them. And sometimes we talk about other things too. So, all right. So with that, we're going to move on to our discussion list. And while there is no COVID update, unfortunately, Dr. McDonald's not here, but Kathy Schwartz is here. And they had a board meeting last night. Do you have anything kind of to update the community on about what's going on related to COVID here in Wasco County?
Thank you, Chair Hagee. Well, actually, I'm not prepared to do a full report, but we did get at the district board, we did get a report from Dr. McDonald last evening. And as most of you probably know by now, because it's been in the news, that the Omicron variant is in Oregon, and it's apparently, as we know now, it's very transmissible. And as Dr. McDonald said last night, there's more unknowns than knowns about this variant. So not really prepared, any of us yet, to answer specific questions about it. But for now, the CDC, the Oregon Health Authority, is still encouraging people to get vaccinated, get boosted. As what we know now, that is certainly the best defense we have against any of the variants coming our way. So I think, and then there's multiple mass vax clinics scheduled in the area in Wasco, Sherman, and Gillum counties. I know there is one scheduled, I believe this Friday. Is that the 17th? Yes, on Thursday and Friday. They've had lots of participation. They've had like over 300 people scheduled for Thursday's clinic. So they have opened up another clinic Friday here at the Readiness Center. and lots of people getting boosted at this time, and still some folks coming in for their initial vaccine. So that's very good. We're really having a slower time getting kids vaccinated. We saw some data last night on that. But that is really happening in the primary care offices and the pediatricians' offices. Understandably, parents are a little more hesitant, so having that conversation with their provider is deemed the best way to actually, get kids vaccinated. So that's happening. Their vaccines and boosters are available in the pharmacies, and they're also available. Some of the pharmacies are offering vaccines to children. So that was something I didn't know, but that one you would call ahead to see if that particular pharmacy is open to that 5 to 18-year-old range. Let's see, what else can I think of off the top of my head? Just a couple clinics going on in Sherman County, Gillum County. Everything is on the NCPHD website, which is really easy to navigate, really easy to set up an appointment for a vaccine. If any of you have done it, super easy. Glad to say that. I think that's about it, unless I can answer any questions. Try to.
I have a quick question. So the appointment process / these the vaccination / booster clinics, do you have to have an appointment, or can you just show up?
That's a great question, and that reminds me. Yes, it is best to have an appointment. For the Readiness Center, that one I'm most familiar with, and I think for all of the clinics that they're doing. However, I did work the clinic last week, and some people did walk in, and we had vaccine for them. I wouldn't say that it's a walk-in clinic, but and then One Community Health does actually have a walk-in clinic, and they're not just vaccinating their own patients, it's for the entire community. I don't have the specific hours for that, but that's a great, access point for folks as well.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions for Kathy? Stump the nurse?
On the fly.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for kind of stepping in there. Just appreciate hearing about that. And as she said, there's lots of opportunity. Go to the public health website. If for some reason you can't find it, we can maybe Kathy Clark could post the website to the chat here. That'll keep her busy. Sorry, Kathy.
Not busy enough, right? Managing this meeting.
Exactly.
Hurting these cats.
All right. Let's move on to site assessment contract. And I think that who's going to talk about that one, Kathy? You're muted. I assumed it was Tyler.
I was going to grab the link, so I wasn't in the paying
Oh,
attention.
sorry.
So I believe it's Tyler, and he's going to be a little late this morning.
Okay.
So you might want to push that one down a little bit.
All right, let's move on from that one. And the next one is appointments, Fair Board. So is somebody leading that discussion at all, or what's the status?
So I can just give you the background that there are some vacancies on the Fair Board, 2 vacancies, and there were 4 applications. Those were considered by the Fair Board members, and all were pushed forward for you to make the final decision with no particular recommendation for any of the 4 applications. Matthew Klebs, who I thought I saw on the call, attends those meetings and may have more information.
Do you have more information for us, Matthew?
No, Kathy, no, Chair. I think Kathy nailed it. We have 2 vacancies on the Fair Board and 4 applicants. These will be to fill some of the positions and finish out the terms that we have on the Fair Board. Of course, moving forward, we're always looking for other volunteers. Serving on the Fair Board is one way to support the fair and be involved. And so regardless of the appointments today, I'd be hoping and looking forward to working with everybody who is interested in volunteering for the fair.
Excellent.
So Scott, before you start this conversation, I was incorrect. It wasn't Tyler. That site assessment is Sheridan McClellan.
Oh,
And he has another meeting to get to, so we may want to stop the fair and go back and catch that and then come back to the fair.
Okay, we will do that. Sorry about that, Sheridan. So let's hop back to, phone's ringing, sorry. We'll hop back to your item, the site assessment. Sheridan.
Thank you, Commissioner Hagee. This is the Wasco County Radio System and Site Assessment. This is the grant that we applied for OEM in the year and was actually granted, and we had the funds. The project is from AdCom. That's the company that we are hoping is actually going to do the site assessment, and it's requiring a signature. If you have any questions about it, I'm here to answer it. And Shiv McGill also has some answers to that as well, if need to be.
Very good. Thank you. Apologize. I should have known it was you. Your name signed to it. And we've talked about this a little bit before, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay.
We did. So the Board of Commissioners, you guys did actually sign off on the grant, but this is the actual proposal from the company that's going to be doing the site assessment. This is not the.
All right. Anybody have questions for Sheridan or Lane?
No questions, Mr. Chair. I'll move to approve the service agreement proposal with AdCom Engineering LLC for the radio system and site assessment.
And I'll second that.
Excellent. We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion?
I just, I think this is the proposal. The company spoke to us a couple weeks ago, right, Sheridan? Gave us a detailed explanation of everything. So this is just the final approval that we're looking at.
So they can go ahead and go do their work, site assessment.
Okay, and it looks like the grant is going to pay for the entire thing.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Easy decision. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. All right. Thanks, Sheridan. Appreciate you being here. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Back to the appointment discussion to the Fair Board. And before we head into that, it's always a challenge. Like when you want volunteers, oftentimes we don't get enough people volunteering, but in this case we got 4 and we have 2 spots. And just so everybody knows, my opinion is every one of these people is awesome. And the easiest way to do it was just we can point all of them and expand the size of the Fair Board. But anyway, there's reason boards are a certain size, but I think everybody should know, regardless of whether you get appointed or not, this is kind of a Sophie's choice in a way, but all these folks are great. And, I think all of them would do a great job, but commissioners, how do you want to proceed?
Thank you, Chair Hagee. I've been kind of intimate with this project going on. Had lots of phone calls, lots of correspondence. And I think that you and Matthew categorized this well. We've got a lot of work to do. We have a golden opportunity now to hit the reset button and make this Wasco County Fair bigger and better. And I think that with all of the interest that I've heard, as you stated, we are always lacking volunteers, and there's always room for someone to do something. So with all of the correspondence and the phone calls that I've had, 2 of the applicants stand out in the citizens' eyes. And so in this particular case where we have pretty much heavy to one side and light to the other, I would like to move to approve Order 2107, appointing Vicki Ashley to the Wasco County Fair Board, and move to approve Order 21079, appointing Brian LaRock to the Wasco County Fair Board. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so we have a motion for 2 orders here. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All right. Any discussion?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to all of those folks that took time out to be on the call this morning, my phone is always on. Happy to visit with all of you about this issue. As I stated, we have a golden opportunity here to move forward in all aspects of the fair, 4-H, the auction, infrastructure, buildings, you name it. We've got a lot of work to do. And this is just the first step in many as we move through the process. Thank you.
All right, very good. Any other comments?
Yeah, thank you. I would just like to thank everyone again for volunteering. And I just really want to take this opportunity to thank our Fair Board members, the ones that are currently sitting and the ones that will be. It's a real working board, and these folks worked really hard to make this happen. And I just want you to know that I know that, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that. And the other thing is all the fair boards of the past. I mean, it's amazing if you look back on all the folks that have kind of have their hands dirty from working down at the fair. Is pretty amazing. And the fair is awesome. You know, sometimes it's always somewhat disappointing to go down there and not have more folks and participation, but hopefully we can build that up. It's a wonderful facility. It has been pretty highly used in recent years for a lot of unfortunate fire activity down there, but it is a useful facility. And as Commissioner Kramer said, we got a lot of opportunity and a lot of work to do. So, but as well, I just want to say how much I appreciate folks reaching out to all of us. We've read your information. We've listened to your voicemails. In some cases, we've talked to you. So appreciate that. All right. Anything else? If not, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving Order 21-078, appointing Vicki Ashley to the Fair Board, and Order number 21-079, appointing Brian LaRoque to the Fair Board. I had that right, Kathy Clark, correct?
Well, the motion may have been written incorrectly because it's probably 009 on the actual order.
Okay.
And 079, but
okay. All
that
right.
will be a Scrivener's error and we'll just move along.
Okay, what Kathy Clark said. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right. Thank you very much, everyone who again applied, and we very much appreciate your service and willingness to serve. All right. Oh, election of board chair, vice chair.
Chair Hagee, you did not address the other appointment, which is the Forest Collaborative.
All right.
Commissioner Kramer may have something to add to that.
All right.
Is for the forest products representative. There's a number of in their bylaws, they spell out the representatives that they want on that board, and it includes a forest products representative, and that's who John would serve as.
Perfect. All right. Well, it's a good thing I'm getting to the end of my chairmanship because apparently I keep forgetting things. So we'll go to that one. Steve, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the steering committee has offered John Paul, and he has graciously accepted and will be a very active member in the collaborative. So with that, I'll move the order 21-071, appointing John Paul Anderson to the Forest Collaborative.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Sounds like a great guy. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right, now we're on to election of chair and vice chair. I think this is.
Mr. Chair, I think it's just a simple formality. We just kind of rotate the chair, and vice chair moves up, and commissioner moves to vice chair, and I think that's my nomination. So,
all right. Who's going to be the vice chair? You, right?
That would be me. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I'll second that.
Okay.
Do we need to vote on this, Kathy Clark?
Yes, you do.
All right, so we'll take that as a motion from Commissioner Kramer to nominate Commissioner Schwartz as the chair for 2022 and beyond, and Commissioner Kramer as the vice chair. Discussion.
Can I just say, I just want to be sure that you guys, you're going to help me out on this, right? And
of course.
Yeah, you bet we're going to help you.
We're right behind you.
I will look to you, more wiser, more experienced colleagues to, guide me and until I get my, feet under me. But thank you. It'll be fun.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You've done this before, and you'll learn, and you'll have your own style, and it's kind of fun to see how different chairs kind of run things. So, all right, let's go ahead and vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Yes. Congratulations, Kathy. All right. Legal Services Amendment. Who's leading that discussion?
I think Tiffany Phillips is here.
Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. And Kristen.
Hi, and I'm happy to take this. We are here as a firm to present to you our proposed amendment for legal services. As a law firm, we have determined that it's necessary to kind of standardize our public sector rates for the work that we do to be able to keep performing at the services at the level that you have come to expect from us with the associated responsiveness. So this amendment, it standardizes our rates for public sector clients, which is work that our law firm is extremely committed to and extremely proud of. I would like to point out that these rates are still far below our private sector rates, in line with our commitment to the public sector and public resources. And as you're all aware from other work you do, these rates are still significantly under market for public sector lawyers. This amendment would also, our initial contract was for a year term, and when COVID came, we kept the trial rates in place, and this would just solidify our relationship going forward for another term, bring it up to date, and we would hope that you will consider this. If you're curious about our rates and the competitiveness, you do have other options available to you to explore those, and we would help you through that process if you were wanting to explore competition at this time.
Thanks, Kristen. Did Tiffany want to say anything?
Tiffany's been having a little bit of technical.
I'm on now. Can everybody hear me?
Absolutely.
Good morning. And I do think that exactly what Kristen said is true. I think our letter speaks for itself, and we want to continue to provide competitive services to the county and continue to be very committed to that area of our practice, but do want to remain competitive in our rates and operations so that we can provide those services effectively and efficiently.
Very good. Nice to see you, Tiffany.
Nice to see you too, Scott.
All right. Questions for either Kristen or Tiffany? I'm assuming Tyler is still not here, right?
He's here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, Tyler. Why don't you, maybe before we have questions, do you have anything you want to present on this?
No, I think it's fine. I think the only real question, the last time we went through this, the board was pretty adamant around what the process was for selecting. And so I guess I would ask the board, are you okay moving forward with this, or do you want us to go out and do some kind of a process to solicit other bids?
Okay, thanks, Tyler. I guess I'll just start off. I guess my position is that I think periodically it's good to go out and, kind of look at the market, but legal services in particular, along with some other services like accounting and stuff, those are not the kind of things you want to do too frequently, especially if you're happy and you're getting good service, which I am. It does create a lot of disruption potentially. So I guess my position is I think this is fair, and I'm really very happy to move forward under the proposal.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Commissioner Hagee.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I tend to agree, but my question is, has anybody, any firm inquired lately about providing legal services for us? I guess that's to be directed to Mr. Stone.
Yeah, we have not had any inquiries, just, out of the blue inquiries.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other discussion items or any other discussion on this item? If not, I'd take a motion.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and move to approve the amendment to the personal professional services agreement for legal services.
Thank you, and I will second that motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve the amendment to the personal professional service agreement for legal services. Any discussion? Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right. Thank you, Kristen and Tiffany. Thank you for being here today, but thank you more so for being very good legal counsel for us and all the work that you do on our behalf. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. We look forward to a continued relationship.
As do we. All right. Thank you very much. We're moving on. We are almost on time. We're just a couple minutes ahead of time. I think we'll go ahead and recess from our regular meeting. We're going to go into a couple of our district meetings. The first one we'll go into is the 4-H Extension Service District, and then the next one will go into the Library Service District. I have that right, Kathy, right?
You do.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and recess. We're going to go into the Wasco County 4-H and Extension District Extension Service District. We'll open that meeting. And the two items we have on the agenda are appointments and reappointments. And is there anybody from the Extension District here? There's Kim. Hi, Kim.
Good morning.
Did you have anything that you would like to present to us?
Not at this point.
Okay.
So I would like to just point out that Kim is going to be serving as budget officer for the next calendar year. That's a change due to Lynette Black's retirement. So I don't see her smiling about that, but I think she'll do a great job.
Who would smile about that?
Otherwise, the other two appointments are reappointments to budget officers, and you will notice that we are only reappointing two. The third member of the budget team is Frank Kay, and he has moved out of the area. And I believe Commissioner Kramer has someone he's talking to about the possibility of being appointed, seeing if he can generate some interest there. So at a future meeting, I'm hoping that by the time we do the audit for the districts, we will have somebody in place for that.
Perfect. Okay.
I do need to note one thing for you. I'm planning retirement after 36 years with Extension. And so I will get it through the budget process. And then you're going to have to revisit this issue. But hopefully my replacement will be a good candidate. Otherwise, Nicole Strong, who I know Commissioner Kramer has met and talked to several times, will step in.
All right, very good. Who could ever replace you, Kim?
I think it's going to take several people.
Good answer. All right, I see Ken Pauline's here. Ken, appreciate you coming. Do you want to say anything at this point? We're considering reappointing you.
Oh, I'm good with that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ken. It's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. All right. With that, I think we have a series of 3 appointments, and we could go ahead and dispatch with these items if you commissioners would like to do so.
So, yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you. I would like to approve order 21-077, appointing Kim McCullough as budget officer.
And I will second that.
All right, we have a motion to approve and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. Congratulations, Kim. Yay! All right, other ones?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll move as a slate order 21-044, 21-047, reappointing Mr. Ken Pauline and reappointing Mr. Pat Davis to the Budget Committee.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right, congratulations, Ken. All right, and I've just jumped to the wrong place. And then we also have a set of minutes from June 2nd that are looking for approval.
Move to approve as presented.
Thank you. I'll second.
All right, I have a motion to approve in a second for the June 2nd minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right. I think that's it. Kim, did you have anything else for us related to the Wasco County 4-H and Extension District?
No, everything's moving along great right now. We've just announced this week that we've hired a new 4-H outreach coordinator. So she will come, her first day is December 30th. So we're looking forward to having full staff again.
Wow, good. That's great news.
Kim, what is her name, Kim?
Leah Lowe.
Thank you.
All right, we look forward to meeting Leah. All right, anything else, Kim?
Not at this point, Scott.
All right, thanks for being here. All right, with that, then we will go ahead and close our Wasco County 4-H and Extension Service District meeting, and we will open our, all right, I'm confused again.
Library.
We open our Wasco County Library Service District meeting, and we have some more appointments here as well. And do we have any representative from the library?
I don't believe we do. Jeff had told me he wasn't going to be able to make it. And these are usually just housekeeping meetings at this time of year. However, there are 2 appointments, and there's a little bit of nuance to them. So for years, the Dalles has appointed the representative to the district board at the city level. And Jeff and I got tangled up in some dates. I had it on my calendar wrong. I had them at the end of the year instead of the middle of the year. And it caused me to go in and look at the bylaws for the library service district. And the city doesn't have the authority to appoint. They recommend to us, and then we appoint. So one of these is an appointment that they made. We will have one at the next district meeting because Corliss Marsh was appointed by the city and should have been appointed by the board. So we will backdate her appointment when that comes before you. Otherwise, this is very standard.
Okay, so there's 2 people that are considered for appointment to the district board on here. Is that right?
Yes, they're replacing people who termed out. So
Okay.
the district can only allows their members to serve 2 consecutive terms, and they have to take 4 years off before they can be considered for reappointment again.
Excellent. And then we have a budget officer and 2 budget committee members. All right, questions on this one?
No questions. I'll try to tackle this, Chair Hagee. We'll move to approve order 21-049, reappointing Jeff Woverneck as the budget officer for the library district.
And I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and second to appoint Jeff as the budget officer. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes.
And then, Mr. Chair, as a slate, order 21-050, 045-21048, reappointing Mr. Davis and Mr. Poling to the Budget Committee.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve both Ken Poling and Pat Davis to the Budget Committee. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. Didn't we just talk about Ken Poling earlier?
He's a busy guy.
He's still here. All right.
Right, and then, Mr. Chair, orders 21075, 21076, appointing Vicki Thomas and appointing Duard Hext to the District Board.
And I'll second that.
All right, thank you. We have a motion to approve in a second. Any discussion? It's again, look at here. I mean, here's a whole bunch of volunteers on here, and it's great. You look at some of the applications, and it's cool to see them put effort into an application to say what they want to do for the board. So very exciting. All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right, and then we have again minutes from June 2nd for this district as well. Any changes or comments on those or approval?
Oh, sure. I'll move to approve the June 2nd, 2021 minutes for the library district.
Second.
All right, a motion, a second to approve the minutes for the Wasco County Library Service District. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right, and is there anything else for the library? If not, we will close the Wasco County Library Service District and go back to our regular meeting. And that will be WCLEA Agreement. Nicole. Nicole? Is she here? We are a little early.
I show her on the list as here.
Okay, well, there she
To
is.
pick up the consent agenda.
I am here on the phone. Sorry. Okay, so maybe do we want to start with Sheriff McGill? Obviously, you're part of this, or Mr. Williams.
Yeah, just before you have the Wasco County Law Enforcement Association collecting bargaining agreement contract for the next 3 years. It's been delayed due to just different processes and stuff. Our attorney transferred over to another company, and so we got a little bit delayed on getting it to you guys and cleaning some legal language up. We're comfortable with it. One of the conversations that needs to happen is the LOA that is in front of you, I believe. And hold on, let me get it pulled back up here. We found an error in it. Chief Deputy, do you have that in front of you? I can't find it for some reason.
I can find it here real quick. It's just a matter of the when a new employee can start drawing vacation.
Yeah, and we didn't
Instead
want
of a year, it's 3 months.
Right. We found that error. It went back and forth. You know how these contracts, everybody's got a set of eyes on it. And we happened to come across it and found the error. Originally, it was new employees would have to wait a year before they received their vacation, and we negotiated that they could get it within 3 months. That wasn't added into the document or in the contract that you see in front of you. So we have an LOA, letter of agreement is what that stands for, and we're the ones that caught it. Actually, it's kind of good that we got it, and we're comfortable with that. But what you see before you is a 3-year contract for the association, and we're comfortable with it. We think we've done a great job for our employees, and they're in good position too for their increases as well. Can't get into too many of the details on negotiation stuff due to legal requirements and labor negotiations and things like that, but because some of that information is classified as private under the bargaining rules and things like that. So I won't get into those discussions unless the board chooses to go to an executive session, but I don't think that's necessary in this case unless you choose to do so.
I have the MOA here if you would like me to read it or you want me to email it to you.
Just read it if you want to, just so they unless they have questions. Do you have any questions about that MOA or the LOA at all and what that means?
I mean, that LOA is not in our packet, right? Is that right?
It's not, evidently. That's what I keep thumbing through. So
okay, it'd be great if you could, if it's brief, if you could read it, Scott.
Yeah, it's brief. I can read it real quick. I'll read it in its entirety here. Letter of agreement between Wasco County, Oregon and Wasco County Law Enforcement Association. This letter of agreement is entered into and between Wasco County, Oregon County and Wasco County Law Enforcement Association to be effective beginning immediately. The parties agree as follows. 1, the county and association are parties to collective bargaining agreement, CBA, effective through June 30, 2024. 2, Article 13 of CBA addresses the terms related to vacation. The parties agree to add the following language at the end of section 13.1 of the CBA. And the quote is, all employees, including lateral employees hired into a position which requires certification for DPSST, will be eligible to utilize the vacation accrual after 3 months of their date of hire. And then the signature block is below that. Any questions?
Any questions for Scott on that?
Can you send that to me, Scott, please?
Yes, I will send it right now, Kathy.
Thank you.
And Nicole, obviously, Nicole's joined us now. So we kind of started this. Lane gave us kind of a general overview and they talked about a letter of agreement that made some changes. So Scott just read that for us. We haven't seen that yet. So I thought maybe you might want to comment on that and or talk to us about the whole agreement.
Yeah, so in regards to LOA, essentially that came in too late for us to get it on the board agenda. So we knew just having the opportunity today, we could address that here. It's just really, truly language got missed. And it's not a huge impact to the rest of the agreement and what was negotiated, but just making sure, obviously, that we have that clear language moving forward. Additionally, and I'm not sure if the sheriff or chief deputy brought this up, but really, truly, just kind of cutting to the chase of the agreement that was TA'd and hopefully be ratified by the board today. From a compensation perspective, just the increases are really in line with current national wage rates, which are basically varying anywhere from 5.8 to 6.9, as what I read yesterday. So that's hot off the presses. And so we're definitely in line with that as far as what was negotiated. I would also just say we did actually end up breaking out certification pay, if that hasn't been discussed already as well. In the past, we've just had a step for those that had a certification. And so at this point, we've actually broken it out to additionally incentivize staff for intermediate or advanced. And you can see that on the salary matrix that was included in the CBA, just to show you kind of what that breakout is. So again, just an additional way to incentivize staff for that continued professional development and commitment to the organization and the sheriff's department.
And since we're on the public record here, I'd like to personally thank Nicole as well as Mike Middleton for being a part of the process. Without their expertise in the HR side of it, as well as the financial side of it, and under our new budgeting process with each individual department, we couldn't have done it without them. Mike was especially helpful when it came to really putting the nuts and bolts together from a financial standpoint that gives us not only a short-term outlook on where we're at as an agency in the Office of Sheriff, but it also gives us long-term perspective on where we want to go and help develop our programs from a financial standpoint based on labor and stuff like that. So my personal thanks to both of them for their assistance through the process, because like I said, we couldn't have done it without them, that's for sure. So congrats to those guys.
Thanks, Lane.
Anything else for us?
I would just say just some minor changes. We did incorporate an additional holiday of Juneteenth, similar to what we've done for the rest of the county as well. And then I think really kind of that's the bulk of it. Otherwise, it's just updating some language, which again is minor in application. Just going through, I dog-eared my pages. I was going to talk to you guys about this morning, so give me just a second. Let's see. I think just some clarity on the tuition reimbursement. We updated some of the language there. But otherwise, really, I think ultimately compensation was our focus this year for negotiations. The only other point I would add to this is in prior communication, anytime we are making changes to a collective bargaining agreement, still understanding and recognizing potential compression that can occur between deputies and sergeants. And so we have taken additional steps to also implement the additional incentive pay for certification for sergeants.
All right, very good. Questions for any of the folks here about this item?
Just a quick question. Lane, did you say that this occurs every 3 years?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Unless they negotiate a longer contract.
Yeah, that generally doesn't happen. We had those conversations like, well, I'll take like a 5-year deal here. No, 3 years is very, very common for a lot of contract negotiations and contracts that you have. You don't generally find them more than 3 years, 4 years tops, but that's even a rarity there.
Well, and just to be clear, we're most of the way through the first year. So there's going to be some back pay in this issue, and we'll have to do it again in 2024.
All right, other questions? If not, I would take a motion. And this is maybe before, so this is a recommendation coming from all the folks that have worked on this to approve what's proposed with the changes that have been discussed.
Yep, correct. So, and making sure that this is ratified effective July 1st of 2021 through June 30th of 2024.
Okay, very good. We have a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the collective bargaining agreement between Wasco County and the Wasco County Law Enforcement Association effective through June 30, 2024 with the letter of agreement included.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I would just say that we appreciate these folks that work under this contract. They do great work for us. They're the ones out there on the streets and the roads, keeping us safe and taking our calls. So they're very important people, and we sincerely appreciate the work they do. So, all right, with that, we'll call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right. Thank you. Anything else that you guys have for us on this or anything else law enforcement wise?
Oh, we could probably go on and on if you want a full update.
No, that's all right.
You're on a time frame.
We do actually have a
Chair Hagee, I would say that, and I'll just brief Kathy on this because it'll start happening. It's like, well, long story short.
Thanks, Lane. Little inside joke there. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for the work that you do too. This we know that can be challenging work at times. So very good. All right, we're going to move on to the substance abuse treatment contract. Molly Rogers, I saw you there. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks. Chair Hagee and commissioners, I think it's self-explanatory. I'll just answer questions if you have them.
All right, do we have any questions for Molly on this? Why don't you just for the public, just tell the public just a little bit, what is this? What is this contract for?
Sure. Chair Hagee, the contract is for supervision for CADC, which is a certified alcohol and drug counselor. So there's a staff member at the Department of Youth Services that's gone through all of the training to become a certified alcohol and drug counselor. And so the next step in doing that is actually doing some counseling and then having supervision on once a week for the first few weeks. And then every other week is the intent as the contract moves forward. And in order to do that, we have to have a CADC level 3. And so Monique Adams who is a LCSW and a CADC3, has agreed to provide that supervision for the staff member. And so that is what the contract is for, is just to have the ongoing. And our Department of Youth Services staff will work with both youth here at the Department of Youth Services in the community, as well as youth at Norcor. So it's a great kind of partnership all the way around.
Excellent. Thanks for that explanation. All right. Any questions for Molly on this?
I don't have any questions. It looks like good work and a good contract. So I would go ahead and move to approve the substance abuse treatment consulting services contract between Wasco County and Monique Adams.
And I will second the motion.
All right, very good. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right, it's passed. Molly, do you have anything else to update us on and from youth services?
I do not. It's just busy times. That's it.
Is it busy? Is that good or not good?
Let me rephrase that. Thank you, Chair, for clarifying that. Actually, our office is going along at a very nice pace. I'm just busy, but the staff are doing great.
You're always busy though, aren't you?
That's my choice to be. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for the work that you do and your staff as well, and best of luck. All right. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule. Andrew Burke must be here. There he is. All right. Very good. You're going to talk to us about information services backup system. Andrew, welcome.
Hi there. Yeah, thank you for having me. So really, you received the memo, and I'm sure read through that. Basically, hitting the highlights. We spent a lot of time evaluating our backup solution, existing backup solution against what is out there in the industry. And really what we found is there are options out there that provide us with the kind of continuity and resilience that we need in order to address today's modern cyber threats. And so what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to increase our annual investment that we've been putting out, which has been roughly $6,000 a year. I'm looking to increase that to $12,000 a year. And really, I want to highlight that if we stick with Unitrends, that investment would increase anyway to $10,000 a year. And so that's really where we're at. I'm looking to move us over to Veeam, which has not only in our own evaluation shown itself to be one of the better options, on average, according to the analysis that we performed, but also according to other research entities, Veeam is industry leader at this point in time. And so that's really the direction I'm looking to move forward to, and looking for your approval to do so.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions for Andrew? See if we can stump Andrew with some highly technical question.
I relish the challenge.
I bet you do. Unfortunately, we may not be able to perform.
It probably won't be that hard.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I heard Andrew speak at AOC conference this year with a member from Homeland Security who helped with our assessment. And Mr. Burke did an outstanding job, represented the county well, and in my opinion, as we move forward, you all know that I'm not the tech guy in the room, but this is very, very important for us as a unit, and I see no reason why we should not go with the recommendation presented to us today. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thanks, Steve. Kathy, do you have anything?
Yeah, I concur. I'm definitely not a techno giant myself either, but I do fear cybersecurity issues. So whatever Andrew thinks is best. I guess I'm a little confused about the process. Do we actually have to approve this at this time? Or is this not in your budget? Or I don't quite get what we're asked to do today.
I'll defer to Kathy for the procedure
No,
components.
I don't think there's a motion before you. It's not an agreement. You're just offering your support and your approval for him to move forward with this plan.
Okay, and I really appreciate you bringing that to us, Andrew, because otherwise I might not know that, you know, I know we've talked about this in the past, that you're doing this assessment, but that you've actually concluded it and made a decision. So I appreciate that.
All right, very good. I would concur with Commissioner Kramer. I was also down in Eugene at the presentation that Andrew was involved in. I think he was maybe involved in a couple, but he did an outstanding job, and I actually learned something. So that was good. I had a quick question. So in here, you have the matrix scores assigned to each one of these backup systems. Is that something that those scores come from another service that analyzed them, or is that something that your staff did?
That's something that me and my staff did. What we did is we went through several demos. We also looked at white papers and kind of based on those different research tasks, we put a score onto I believe it was 19 different key factors. And what we did is we weighted those factors based on today's landscape, really. And so it's a overall average weighted score across the 19 different factors that we evaluated.
Okay. And tell us how, so like obviously ransomware is one of the more prevalent kind of cyber attacks that is happening out there. How does backup relate to that particular instance, and how will this kind of help Wasco County be more secure?
Yeah, so with ransomware, the kind of idea behind that is a threat actor comes in and encrypts all of your data so you can't access it, right? And oftentimes what happens is that threat actor will sit within your system for quite some time, so that they can gain access to the backup systems, delete backups, etc. And so the way that our plan moving forward, without going into significant detail, is to really take some of those backups from this Veeam system and keep those in a place where it's kind of a read only, where they don't have the option to encrypt that backup in order to remove our access, so to speak, or delete that backup, etc. And so it's kind of that one-way replication where rather than letting somebody go in and do a two-way where they delete it, it pushes out and deletes it on our alternative system, then what we can do is we can, just stop that by reducing that or canceling that second way synchronization. So that there's no deletion that occurs, there's no encryption that can occur on that alternative system, and we can perform a backup or recovery from it should we need to. So I don't want to go into too deep of detail on that in this venue. I think you're muted.
I should unmute myself. No, I appreciate that and I understand. I just thought it would be good for people to kind of understand that one, we have great people working for us, doing great work trying to protect us, because ransomware is a very real thing. A county, I think it was Tillamook County, about a little more than a year ago, actually had a pretty significant ransomware attack, which kind of shut them down for a while, and I think cost them quite a bit of money.
Yeah, and if I may, I mean, the ransomware topic is indeed a hot topic right now. But according to the FBI's Internet Crime report back in 2020, ransomware is actually a small portion of the cyber attacks that occur within our world. In fact, we tend to lose more money through things like email phishing or threats of that nature. And so I want to say ransomware, yes, is a threat. But it is indeed only one of many threats that are out there that we protect against.
That's interesting. Yeah, it is something we hear about a lot. And it's interesting because the phishing and all the other things happen to many of us every day. So they're very probably much more so than ransomware, but you hear about the ransomware for sure.
Absolutely, because those are generally the bigger scores that occur.
All right. Then this is obviously just an informational item. Andrew, we do appreciate you bringing it forward because I think, one, it's good for us to be aware of what's going on and where the money's being spent. He's spending out of the budget he has, but appreciate the update. Anything else from your neck of the woods that you want us to know about?
No, this is where I'm at right now. We've been working on this project for some time, and we're looking forward to kind of bringing this one to a close and moving on to the next one, which will be related to our network infrastructure. So I'm sure you'll be seeing more of that coming here in the future.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Andrew. You have our support for proceeding with that, and thanks again for bringing it forward.
Thank you.
All right. We are again a little bit ahead of schedule, but I think Ivan is here with us, and so we will move on to the ORMAP grant agreement. Ivan, welcome. And you're muted.
Good morning, commissioners. This is my name is Ivan Donahue, and I'm with the Public Works survey technician in the surveys office. And what we have proposed, again, this is our 12th phase of a multi-year project that we've been working on. And what we are seeking to get is a $41,000 grant from the Oregon Department of Revenue. And that would be to collect and capture 84 survey control points in Wasco County. The current area that we're looking at is 3 townships that are just east of the Dalles, city of the Dalles area. When we had looked at collecting control, at first when we wanted to gather some of the bigger areas, so we've pretty much moved from the Dalles all the way down south into Antelope. And so now we currently are kind of coming back to these exception areas that we have. And this is noticed on the status map in the board packet, if you want to take a look at that. And so the outline of our plan is to have survey collect all survey control using GIS in the county. And the purpose of this is for remapping all assessors' tax index maps into real world locations. And so after this grant, Wasco County would only need one more grant to basically complete all of the survey control to date. And then we can proceed into the remapping portion of this, where when all survey data has been completed, we can identify correcting the assessor's tax maps. And previously, I've been working with the Oregon State Group Tools Committee, and it's helped me kind of identify that there is some smaller Oregon counties because with the ORMAP, Esri is going to be releasing, it's the software, they work on ArcGIS. Pro is going to be released soon. So right now, currently, we're working in the ArcView for Esri, and the state has been continually pushing to move everyone into the new ArcGIS Pro so that all counties can commingle their data and keep it all together. So currently, I've been working with the state on ensuring that they allowed training through their grants to allow time for us to get caught up to speed on the remapping portion of it, which I've been doing some training, and that'll be the next step once the collection of the controls complete. And then we will proceed into remapping these areas.
How is your training going on the map?
It's going really good. I've basically convinced, we've convinced the state to pay for the training for smaller counties. And so with the training, it's been going really good that I feel like I'm grasping the knowledge needed to start on this project of the remapping portion.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's where people are really going to see it when it gets on the map.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, Ivan. Questions for Ivan? No questions? Okay. I just had, do you have something, Steve?
No, go ahead, Chair.
I just had you, I think you mentioned, I can't remember, this is the 22nd or what agreement or part of this plan?
Oh, so this would be, so this is a 12th phase. So this would be our 24th agreement then.
Really? Wow,
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So they do 2 grants a year is why. So that's why.
Amazing. It's, we've been working on this for a long time.
Yes.
It's funny you say we're capturing, so many points. I think of it as a hunt, right? You're out there hunting for these points.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is the case sometimes, right?
Yes. Yeah, that is. We use a metal detector and a shovel and we go finding, we pinpoint the areas and then it is a treasure hunt. So.
Yeah. But you guys could write a book. I remember a former surveyor, Dan Bolt, had lots of very interesting stories about trying to locate these historic markers that are basically the control points for the county.
Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? If not, I take a motion.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this is really important work. So I'll move to approve the ORMAP IGA number DOR-560-21, funding the continued conversion of Wasco County tax maps.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right, Ivan, one more approval.
Yay. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks for the work you do and have a great time doing this next section.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right. Again, we're ahead of schedule, but we'll go ahead and proceed. Delineation estimate and agreement, Tyler Stone.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So what you have in front of you is a contract to do wetlands delineation on the parcel that we'll be receiving from Google as part of the SIP agreement. And this is leading up to doing part of our due diligence work on that site for the proposed project of the ball fields. And so before anything can be done, we kind of have to know what we're dealing with out there. You'll see probably several of these types of agreements, probably a cultural survey coming here at some point in the future. But this is for the wetlands inventory piece of it. And we need to have that information before we can start moving forward with any of the planning stuff to be able to move the project forward. This agreement is for about $11,000. Terra Science is a wetlands firm that has done a lot of work out in the port area, so they're very familiar with this site. And the ports use them on previous work that they've done in the development of their site. So their background and experience on this particular site, I believe, qualifies them as a sole source just because of the experience and work that they've done out there. And I think Andrea's on if you have any questions about the actual firm, but I'm asking for approval on this contract so we can continue to do our evaluation on this particular site.
All right, very good. Thanks, Tyler. Andrea, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to say.
All I can say is that we did work with them on doing a really comprehensive wetland analysis a number of years ago, and we probably had, 12 local, state, and federal agencies that they were able to convene meetings with. And my experience with them is that they approach it from a very practical manner and really try to come up with solutions that work both for the state requirements for wetlands, but also for what the community is really looking to achieve with this study. So I have confidence that they will do a great job for us and really work to come up with a practical solution that works best for everybody. So I've worked with them for a number of years and only have good things to say about them.
Very good. Thanks, Andrea. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for Tyler on this? Or Andrea? Go ahead, Kathy.
Sure, thank you. So first question is, has our SIP agreement been approved yet, Tyler, from Business Oregon?
That will happen this week, I believe.
Okay. And I guess if for some reason they don't approve our SIP agreement, we wouldn't go forward with this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And then the other question I have is just kind of related to what Andrea was saying, like when you have wetlands on a piece of property, I mean, what are solutions and options? I don't quite understand, what can be done? Do you have to swap land? I really don't understand how that works.
Yeah, there are a variety of solutions. I probably should let Scott answer this because this is what he deals with every day. But depending on the study, right, that will inform us as to how we move forward there. And so they can be mitigated, they can be swapped, they can be incorporated into design as an amenity. There are a lot of different options, kind of at our disposal to be able to do that. But we don't know what those options are until we know what we're dealing with. So.
And do we actually know that there are wetlands there?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
And we were just out looking at the site yesterday, and there's a big pond out there.
I see. Okay.
It's hard to know, like the thing is just if there's water on the surface at one point in time doesn't necessarily mean it's a wetland. There's a whole process that they go through to determine if it actually is an actual wetland versus just a wet area.
And I think there's a question in the chat, Tyler, that, I think maybe you could address. It seems like to me, if the SIP agreement goes through, that land will go to the county. So, we probably want to do this assessment for the county's benefit. That's kind of how I read that, but do you want to address that question?
Yeah, you basically said exactly what I would have said. I mean, this will be a community project. The county owns the ground. It'll be our responsibility to do that work and submit that work as part of the process out there. And the hospital will have to they'll have to do their own work on Kramer. So
yeah. So even if for some reason the hospital project doesn't go through, the land is still going to be ours, and we still need this information for whatever we choose to do with it in the future.
Yeah, whatever ends up happening out there is going to have to be based on a lot of these studies. And as you know, we're currently in the information gathering phase around this. And so this is part of information gathering.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Kathy, anything else, Steve? Did you have any other questions?
No, Commissioner Schwartz brought up my concern, and because as far as I'm concerned, we don't have a SIP agreement until Business Oregon approves our application, and so with that, I'm okay to move, but with modification. So at your pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. A quick question maybe for Tyler on that. So the SIP agreement was transmitted to Business Oregon. Do we have any idea what the status of that is?
Yeah, they're going to hear it this week. So okay. Hopefully we'll have an answer by the end of the week.
All right. Very good. Okay. That was all I had. Commissioners?
So with that, Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the agreement with Terra Science, Inc. for contemporary wetland delineation services for the Dalles Rodeo Ground site contingent upon Business Oregon's approval of our SIP application.
And I will second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. If no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes, unanimous. All right. Thanks, Tyler. So you'll keep us updated on that. Obviously, we'll know when Business Oregon approves or disapproves of the SIP agreement, and then we can go from there. All right.
Yep.
Now, we are going to go into a short executive session, I believe, and I'm going to have to find my script here. Is there anything else before we do that, Kathy? Can you maybe just, Kathy Clark, can you maybe tell the folks how this will work?
Well, you could do the consent agenda before you go in, but you'll cover this in your script. We will go into breakout rooms, and the only folks that will be joining us in those rooms are designated staff, members of the press, and this room will stay open. This main room will stay open, and folks can wait for us here. And then once the executive session is concluded, we will return to the main room.
Okay. Why don't we go ahead and do the consent agenda first, and we get that off our plate. We have minutes from December 1st, and then a lot of reappointments.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
And I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Thank you. I had a comment, but just it doesn't really matter. But on the Mosier watershed, Colleen Coleman, I believe she's resigned from the city manager position over in Mosier, so she may not be, but that's not really our issue at this point. We can proceed with that, and if that happens and she doesn't want to be on it anymore, then we can reappoint appoint someone else. So, all right. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. All right. So we got all those items done. All right. So we're going to go into executive session. I'll read our script here. We'll go in and then we'll be back here in a bit. The Wasco County Board of Commissioners will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192-662H to consult with counsel concerning the legal rights and duties of a public body with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed, and ORS 192-662E, real property transactions. This executive session will be held in a separate virtual meeting room. Representatives of news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session in a separate virtual room. All other members of the audience will remain in the main meeting room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of deliberation during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decision may be made in executive session, and at the end of executive session, we will return to the open session in the regular session virtual meeting room. There you go.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I believe I have just Roger Nichols as a member of the press. I don't see Mark or anyone from CCC. So if there's somebody here that is with one of those organizations, please let me know now. Okay.
Recording stopped.
Here you go. You know what, Scott? I don't think I added you. You don't get to come.
I'm still here.
There you go.
All right, so we're back. I thought I was going to be left in the room by myself for a minute.
Right.
It was very lonely in there. All right, so we are back.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so we're back from our executive session. Thanks everyone for hanging out with us, for us, I guess. So we're back, and our next item is Highway 30 water system expansion. And Tyler Stone, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So this project started quite a while ago, really with your approval to move forward with design, with design estimates. I can't even remember how long ago that approval was, but it was several months ago. And so since that time, we engaged Tennyson Engineering to build us a fully kind of engineered cost estimate of that project. And I'm not sure if Kathy can share that on the screen.
I can try. You can also share, Tyler, if you've got it up. Hang on.
Chair Hagee, just while Kathy's doing that, I think it's important to note that we just got this ourselves this morning, like moments before the commission meeting. So we haven't really seen this. So just wanted to put that out.
All right, thanks, Kathy. At 8:29, actually.
Okay, let's see how I do. It's in my browser, so it's going to be a little harder to see.
We can see it at the top.
Okay.
All right, Tyler, so there it is. You want to?
Yeah, so just scroll down there to the bottom, keep going right there. And so this is the engineer's estimate of the project. And if you look at kind of that third line from the bottom that says the project cost range, today is $373,000 to $415,000 to do this project. And what this project will do is tie into the Cuck well system and travel down Highway 30, turn and put a fire hydrant in there by the golf course apartments, and then end at a point next to the golf course's water system. So the project is there to provide municipal water for the course, which has been struggling to be able to provide enough water to operate, essentially. So in the drier months of the year. So that is the project, and that is the cost estimate on that. And I'm asking the board's approval today to move forward with that project and get that into the bidding process. And then I think if there's no questions for me on that, there's a number of people on today that would like to comment towards this project.
Okay. Why don't we'll start with commissioners, trying to make sure that we have any questions we have answered. So questions from either Kathy or Steve.
Steve, did you have, okay, thank you. I was just wondering, Tyler, would you mind going into a little bit of the history of this whole water system and how it is that we have it and who manages it for the public? I would appreciate, I mean, and it's been a while since we talked about this, so I could definitely use the review. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll try to explain that as best I can. So this actually came about long before probably most of us were here, and really with the building and funding of the Discovery Center. And at that point, they needed to have a water system to be able to serve the Discovery Center. And through a number of negotiations and I think probably handshakes and changes of approaches, what came out of that was the Cuck well, which was part of the properties out there, was identified to serve the Discovery Center. And at the time, and I'd have to have planning help me with this, but to my understanding, you couldn't carve that little piece of property out where the well was to be able to have it transfer as part of the larger agreement. And so through a number of different iterations, it was determined that that piece of property, the Cuck well, would be a county asset. And that asset would be managed and maintained by City of the Dalles. And I mean, even going back into the old documents, it identifies future customers as the golf course apartments, the golf course, and potentially some of the other areas out there. And I can't remember the name of the mobile home park there, but it identified those as potential future customers. And so fast forward to today, the golf course approached us over a year ago, I think, about providing some additional water to them during the months when they have challenges with the wells that they have on the golf course. And so that's what has brought us to today and talking about this project. So I don't know if that answers your specific legal questions, but that's kind of the 100,000-foot view of all of those past agreements.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's what I recollect from our discussions about it. And I do remember now reading some of those old documents, and that is what they said. But one thing in the document that I do remember is at some point we were supposed to turn the wells over to the city, right? And that has never happened, right?
Yeah, so once it was all done and paid for, there was supposed to be a transfer. And as soon as we're done here with this, you will pick those conversations back up again with the city, because they truly are the ones that have the capacity and capability to continue to maintain this particular system.
Thank you. Appreciate that. History for sure. Thank you. I love those past history agreements that aren't really written down, but you know, handshakes and whatnot, but here we are. So thanks.
Yeah, very difficult to bring those forward into today's world.
I had a quick question, Tyler. So in terms of the plan, like the estimate there, so you mentioned that there were a number of other potential areas that this system could serve, being some of the apartments out there and perhaps one of the mobile home parks. And I know that some of those, or both of those, I'm not sure, I think they have shared well systems, and there are some challenges in terms of operating those. I think there's boil orders that periodically happen out there. Is there plans in this that provisions will be made to serve those other customers?
So that decision is really with those other customers on whether they want to be a part of this system or not.
Yeah.
The system is designed with the capacity or the capability, i.e. the larger pipes, to be able to serve those at a future date. And so, you know, even since we've started having this discussion, the organic farm has reached out about potentially putting a connection there. So right now I'm focused on getting the system built, and then, you know, whether there are additional customers added to that at a later date. That's a different discussion. So
okay, that's fine. The thing is, like, as we build it, it will be exponentially easier if we at least make, like, you know, stub out some provisions for future connections so that we don't have to go back to the main line and, you know, cut the road and all that other kind of stuff. So it's something to consider anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Chair Hagee, on that line, okay, of conversation, I noticed in Tennyson's, the agreement that we got this morning that I just have looked at briefly, there is a notation about a fire hydrant. And is that going to be placed? I know, Tyler, you and I had a conversation near the golf course apartments. Is that right?
Yeah, we asked for that fire hydrant to be put there, right there where the pipe turns. on Highway 30, so that there would be some fire suppression capability from that system for the golf course apartments there. As you know, that area, it seems to burn about every 3 or 4 years along the highway right through there. That seemed like a prudent thing to do.
I really was glad to see that. I think that's a very vulnerable area with vulnerable folks living there, and, you know, having the ability to, you know, do some more immediate and supportive fire suppression, that's huge for me. So thanks for getting that in there. I really appreciate that.
All right, Commissioner Kramer, questions?
Thank you, Chair Hagee. You know, my questions are going to come after we get this ball rolling and get this project underway. This is one of those greater good projects for what I believe for the entire county, and I think that we should move forward with this. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Steve. All right, why don't we, I think there are some folks out there that want to maybe provide some comments. So maybe we'll take a few minutes now, and if folks have some input they want to provide, if you could maybe raise your hand ideally, and then we can, there's a hand raised. We'll start with Billy Brose.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to address you. I'm the athletic director at the Dalles High School, and I am here to provide our support for any type of water expansion project to assist the Dalles Country Club. As you are all well aware, golf was the one activity for the children of our community during the pandemic. And speaking to my varsity coaches, speaking to members of the country club, it became vastly apparent that if they do not get the support, that the country club may not exist too much further down the road. And being an advocate for the children of our community, the younger kids, as well as our high school kids, this would, you know, if the country club doesn't get what they need with the water support, there would be no more Dalles High varsity golf, boys or girls. It would also eliminate Doofer's ability to golf. Closest golf courses would be Goldendale, Hood River. I spoke to my coaches. They said that's not an option for us financially. So whatever we as the Dalles Athletic Department can do to support the commissioners, City of the Dalles on this project, please know that I am here and our district is here to support you in this move for the country club. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Billy. Thanks for being here, and thanks for those comments. All right, other folks. There's Lisa. Lisa, welcome.
So good morning. Thank you. Tyler asked me to speak a couple of different angles for the golf course. We are frequently asked, and have been for 9 years, where can I go golfing in the Dalles? Because you have avid travelers who come in specifically to try the different courses and do that. Well, if we have something that is up to par, pardon the pun, but if we have something that is appealing to our guest, they not only spend the day, but they are tending to spend the night. And just so you have a little bit of background, your overnighter guest is averaging an additional $150 over and top of what their lodging may be and what their fuel would be. They're going to spend about $150 a day. So if we can make things appealing to them at a great course, a great experience, you have food out there also, then you're going to increase those overnight stays because they don't want to just come down, drive 3 hours, golf, and then go back home. So we are seriously, by making a better golf course that we have, supplying it with what its needs are and making that attractive. Even more so, we're actually bringing more tourism dollars into our community, which is a great bucket to fill our community because it's not coming from within our own. And just to give you a perspective, in 2019, we had an average of 100,000 overnight stays throughout all of our hotels for the entire year. And that equals out to about $15 million being left in our community. And we have businesses who are dependent 60 to 70% on that revenue alone as a tourist destination. spending. They are not supported enough by our own community. They need those outside dollars. So not only are we supporting an industry or a business as the golf course, but we're also supporting and bringing more dollars to our community, which is very reliant on those dollars. So for me, it is a win-win to have a better golf course, have that more appealing, more attractive to the guest, and be able to offer those services the moment they walk into our building or ask us a phone call.
Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate you being here, and thanks for being a great cheerleader for the community in the region.
Thank you.
All right, other folks? You could unmute yourself or raise your hand or go like this in front of us.
Steve Lawrence raised his hand.
Oh, there he is. I'm looking all around you, Steve. Steve, welcome. Unmute yourself.
Are you ready for me?
Go ahead.
Scott. Oh, it's a delay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Steve.
Okay. I was prepared to give a statement. As you see from one of the windows, we have a lot of the members here at the country club very interested in this issue. I'm hoping that I don't copy too much of what other people said, but let me proceed. Good morning. Thank you for giving us this time to talk about our need for water. Steve Lawrence, and I'm the president of the country club.
Yeah.
After I speak, I will introduce Travis Kane, a pro golfer and instructor, to describe what he has been doing. And then Brianna Wimber will discuss her experience as a new member and golfer. Historically, the Dallas Country Club course had sufficient water access through its wells. Several years ago, the loss of water table prompted us to invest $30,000 to strengthen well number 2 and cap the sides. We only received 50% of expected gain. Presently, the amount of water in our wells is not sufficient in the summer months to refill the pond quick enough to provide adequate irrigation. As a result of inadequate water, the hot sun and hot wind of the Columbia River Gorge soon dries out the fairways, turning the course brown in many areas. We have tried different chemicals and testing to define areas of greatest need, but we continue to fight thatch and mold as a result. This has a negative effect on our ability to recruit members and public play. And the 1995 agreement, which you've already talked about, I was going to specify it does have an intent to provide water to the country club. Through the recent pandemic, we have opened the course to more public play and have achieved a modicum of success. The need for outdoor activities has helped. Due to the success of open play and utilizing opportunities to recruit more frequent public players, open play will be a major component going forward. The Harvest Host program is a travel opportunity discovered by one of our members, Pete Kelly. It allows us to offer a parking place for travel trailers to those travelers interested in playing golf on our course. Through its website, we have been able to list our course and have seen a steady number of traveling golfers who have visited this past summer. Currently, we are concluding an agreement to lease the club restaurant and kitchen for full service public dining in the Dalles. This will change the entire atmosphere within the 100-year-old building, which is currently being updated and remodeled a bit. We will welcome new visitors to the facility and provide new opportunities for us to recruit golfers. Historically, the club has been an opportunity for charitable and youth organizations to raise money through tournaments. MCMC holds an annual fundraiser for its foundation And the Hustlers baseball has raised funds for its programs. With a healthy green course through the spring, summer, and fall, more such opportunities will become available. The Dallas Country Club has seen great success over the years. Professional tournaments were held with such golfers as Ben Hogan and Lee Trevino among the players. A well-watered green course would allow us to return to those days. 3 high school teams currently use our course, and high school tournaments are held without cost to the teams. Coaches from our club mentor these teams. Dan Tellis, the Dallas Boys Golf, Travis Kane, Duffer Boys, and Nate Timmons, the Dallas Girls Golf. And there have been many successes for youthful players coming from this club. Damian Tellis was given a full scholarship from the University of Idaho and played in 2 U.S. amateur tournaments and played on the Canadian. Caitlin McClary was Player of the Year for conference and received a scholarship to Seattle University. She also played on the Women's Symmetry Tour. Tyler Vassar and Donnell Smith Jr. received scholarships. Presently, Chase Snodgrass, who works in our pro shop, is enrolled in the PGA apprenticeship program. All came from local school golf teams. This year, we finalized creating the Dallas Golf Education Association, a 501c3 nonprofit for the purpose of providing free lessons for youth, which would include youth-sized golf clubs, an opportunity to learn golf, swim in our pool, and receive a lunch. This program will be supported in part by Google grant, fundraising tournaments, and donations. It is our intention that Travis Kane will be involved in this program. A board is currently being put together with hope the program will be active in the summer of 2022. Next, I would like to introduce Travis Kane, who runs the TK Golf Academy in the Dalles and who was just named to the Top 50 Coach Award for 2021. This award reflects that the facility management values golf play development and sees the value in an effective program that measurably grows golfers and golf facilities. Travis, I know you're on here. I saw your name.
Can I ask you a quick question first, Steve?
Sure.
So you had an adjective before a word that was either a lawyer word or I didn't hear you properly, but the one before successful, you said something, you're talking about the public play.
Oh, I said modicum of success.
Oh, okay. Not a word many people may know. What does that word mean?
In other words, we had an increase in public play as a result of the pandemic, but not as much as we would like to have.
Ah, okay. Very good. All right, Travis, is he, there he is.
Thank you very much. Is there any chance I get to share my screen? I did create a presentation or a PowerPoint presentation for you.
Kathy can potentially help you there.
Okay, you should be good to go.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Well, again, my name is Travis Kane, the PGA golf professional here in the area. I host the TK Golf Academy here within the Dalles and Gorge area. The board asked me to get on and speak about what I've been able to accomplish here within the last year. So real quick is that, like Steve said, I am been nominated this year and will receive the award for being the top 50 coach through the Operation 36 platform here. That's a worldwide award. Not only that, I was also nominated this year for the Oregon chapter of the PGA for player development. I arrived here in the Dalles back in July of 2020. I'm a local Northwest kid, grew up in Ridgefield, Washington, so go Spuds. Been a member of the PGA for for almost 14 years now and been in golf for 27. Some of the certifications that I have that I utilize is SNAG, American Golf Development Model, the Operation 36 platform, and the National Scholastic High School Association as well. So, really what it comes down to is the academy itself. It serves, who does it serve? Well, it serves the youth, it serves the general public, and everybody else that's interested in golf. We have all age groups and all different demographics when it comes to that, where we have, not only just the 7-year-olds and older, but, I have students that are upwards into the 70s as well. They come up and down from the gorge. They are, traveling to our location to participate in golf because it's a fun activity, and everybody, as you can see in these pictures, seems to be having a great time. If you look at the numbers themselves, I've served over a 1-year period of being here with just green grass marketing campaigns at this point. I did serve 177 unique individuals throughout the entire season between the different classes of Pee Wee, which is 7 years old to 5-year-olds, the school district of Dufur, which I've had a middle school program and a high school program of boys and girls, as well as the summer camps and individual students, and of course the Operation 36 model. Which is nice about the 36 model in this case, is you can see the program demographics listed to the side, which is 82 unique golfers, 51 families here within the Dalles, with the adults and juniors about almost 50-50, and primarily females that we serve here within the community for playing golf. What does that all mean, and what does it really hold for the future? Is that we have a lot of programming things that we can do to encourage kids to continue and adults to continue to play golf and have an outdoor recreational activity. Within those, within those 51 families, they had not trackable visits of 934 unique visits between the 51 families. If you combine that into some, just basic demographics and numbers, that equates to about $40,000 of revenue generated from those families on their own visits on that 934 visits. So, what can we do? Well, from going forward is that, we have that, Family Cup, Junior League, more high school opportunities to get in with the middle school teams or the middle school age groups and develop golfers from there, as well as just other programming things that we have available. With that is that, we are able, from the academy standpoint, since I am an independent contractor, what we've done in the Dalles has mitigated down the gorge itself and, this creek down towards Indian Creek, so much so that Indian Creek has reached out to us to say, hey, what are you guys doing there that's so successful? And can you please help us be that successful as well? So, trying to keep it short and sweet, but if anybody really has any questions about what we do, what we provide, or wants a little deeper dive into the numbers, there's my phone number, there's my website, as well my social media contacts, and we'll hope everybody has a great day.
Okay, thank you, Travis. I'd like to now introduce Brianna Wimber, one of our newest members, to share her experience.
Hi there.
Hey, Brianna.
Hey there. Hi. So I have been a member of the country club for just a couple of years in way of my husband's been an avid golfer, and I have always just kind of watched, driven the cart as skillfully as I could around the golf cart, and in becoming more and more involved with the country club, I finally got to a comfort level where I said, okay, let's try this golf thing. COVID had hit. I needed to do something. I needed to get outside. And that was one of the things that the Dalles offered was golf lessons. So I did participate in Travis's 360 course, which was great. It allowed me to try and golf. It's a very difficult sport. It allowed me to be outside and meet new people. And I just absolutely adored the program and all the offerings that golf has available. It was wonderful to be able to take advantage of that at the country club and just learn a little bit more about the country club. It's been there for, I think we're celebrating 100 years this year. Even though last year, it was a little bit hard to try and golf on brown grass or dirt. It didn't quite work out as well as I think everyone had hoped. But we all gave her heck anyways because it was so fun and social to be a part of the game. And out of that 100 years, it started out as a private club. And in recent, I think the club has just done an amazing job at really trying to be more of a part of the community, and opening it up to the public was a really big step. And as Steve mentioned, having the restaurant become a public restaurant and really getting people out there and seeing what's going on. We hope to be able to show them a green golf course. I don't know if you can call a golf course without it being green at least. So I am super hopeful in that. I think that the club is going in such a positive direction, and hearing all the folks talk about the country club today, it just warms my heart to think that everyone is so community minded and just really looking for opportunities to serve the community of Wasco County. Seeing the kids out there having a great time was awesome. I came from Hood River. We had 2 golf courses, so I came from, opportunity there. But the welcomeness that the Dalles has provided has been above and beyond, and I've really enjoyed being out there. The Dalles totes the 300 days of sunshine, and that is something that is so special about where we're at. And I just really hope that we can get water on our course so that we can really enjoy that. We do have, a lot less cloudy days than some of our neighbors, and we have a lot of opportunity for people to be able to get out there and try new things, try and become a golfer like I have, or to maybe pick it back up. Maybe it's something that they haven't done for a while. And I just really hope that we have the opportunity to let our community really dig in and support, and maybe we can make some more golfers out of some of you folks in here. I've seen some of you golf, and maybe Travis can give you some lessons too. So it was really nice this summer getting to show people around the course also who hadn't been there in a while, or who didn't, know where the course was. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of acreage out there. There's opportunities beyond golf. They have a beautiful clubhouse that can be looked at to host, anniversaries and baby showers and just more community type events. And I just really have, a lot of hope and just a really warm spot in my heart that this can just become something very beautiful, very playable, and really be make the Dalles, have it a stop for someone. As Lisa indicated, there is an ask, there is a need, for tourism, but locals, most importantly, to have the opportunity to come out and have a green course. So, I really look forward to that green grass this year. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Brianna.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I finish a few words, Scott, Commissioner Hagee?
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. The effort to find additional water has been ongoing for years. Past boards have investigated the water table issues, water rights, and an opportunity to sell part of our acreage not used by the course for additional funding. In the summer of 2020, contact was made with Dave Anderson, Public Works Director, to evaluate the flow strength of the Cuck well. He assured us there is sufficient water available to provide 1 million gallons a month during the most critical late spring and summer months. We have met with Tennyson Engineering to identify the most effective route to and through the course to our pond, discussed water flow needs gauge locations, and how to provide potable water to the clubhouse to get us off an aging cistern. This issue has impacted our long-range planning. How we see the course grow, planning for tournaments, recruiting members and the public, our decision to lease the clubhouse, and where we invest in preparation of the course condition. We recently invested in a new tractor and will be looking to updating several failing pieces. The idea of providing water to the country club is not a recent issue. As you stated, the 1995 agreement described that. The Golf Alliance did a study about the economic development impact of golf courses in Oregon. A study I shared with Tyler Stone at some recent history. The impact is impressive. In 2019, the total impact was $1.6 billion. Of that, $281 million is just golf tourism. The other dollars come from revenues raised, suppliers' income, charitable contributions, sales of clothing, equipment, and golf balls, to name just a few components. As tourism grows, and it will grow in the gorge, the prospect for golf tourism is strong. Timing for us is critical. Without additional water, the course cannot survive. This process has been waiting for the engineering to submit a proposal. So it is imperative that steps occurred toward getting to bids for construction of the water line as soon as possible. I would respectfully request that the commission make its decision today to move forward on the much needed project.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks to all the
Any
folks.
questions, commissioners?
Questions for anybody that's, yeah. We have another hand up. Chase has his hand up. Chase, do you want to go ahead?
Hi, can everyone hear me?
We can.
I don't know. From you?
So I, courtesy of the Dallas Country Club, I am able to actually work as an apprentice under the Dallas Country Club, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I was briefly introduced earlier, and I appreciate that. So I am going to briefly, I guess, share my experience as a person who kind of grew up at the Dallas Country Club as a golfer. When I was 5 years old, that's when my dad first put a club into my hand out here. And since that first shot, I've been hooked. And I grew up in the summer junior program out here, actually, back when the course was beautiful year round. And I know that it has the potential of getting back to what it once was. And boy, on our website, it says we're one of Oregon's finest 9-hole courses. But during prime golf season in the summertime, when the course gets all browned out, it's really difficult to back that up to public who may be interested in this place. And that's when all the junior programs, and that's when prime golfing season is. That's when most people want to play golf out here. So if we could get this course looking green and healthy again in prime golfing season, being the summer, with the water access, that would be absolutely fantastic. So thanks a lot, and I hope you consider that.
Thanks, Chase. And that was Chase Snodgrass, in case you didn't know his last name. Thanks for being here, Chase. All right, anybody else? All righty, we're going to be gone. Okay, so appreciate the comments, appreciate the input. Commissioners, comments, questions, decisions? So Tyler, can you maybe just restate just for us, like what is it that you're looking for?
Yeah, so I'm looking for commission approval to move forward with the project, i.e. we need to go out to bid on it and move that project forward. So,
okay, very good. Commissioners?
And thank you, Chair Hagee. I am ready to move forward with the project as stated by Mr. Stone.
Okay. Do we need a motion, Tyler? Or do you just want consensus on moving forward at this time?
I think probably just consensus is fine to move forward with the project. So.
Okay. All right. So quick question before. So what do you anticipate? I know this is a difficult question to answer. What do you anticipate as the next steps, and when might those happen?
Yeah. So if you give me approval to move forward today, we'll immediately start working with Tennyson to put this project out to bid. And the Board of County Commissioners is the contract review board. So we'll go out to bid. We'll get our bids in from the different contractors that may want to do this project. Then you'll come back and you'll open those bids, and you'll have a discussion and approve one of them theoretically. So.
Okay. And time-wise, you think that might happen probably not until next year, correct?
We would start that process immediately. Just, things take a long time. And you heard the urgency that the course has in the upcoming summer months. So it would be nice to be able to have this project in motion in early spring, so that we can meet those needs for this coming season.
Okay, so that's good to have the time frame. I just want to point out, so Nicole Bailey had put a comment in the chat here, which you may or may not have seen, but it's pretty much all related to what I was talking about in terms of the opportunity to provide water to the other folks that live in that area. So I still think that's an important component. As we go through with the design, let's make sure that we keep that in mind, because I think we can do little things to make it way, way easier for folks to connect to it down the road. And I think, as Nicole said, that could be a really important component. So, all right. Steve has said he's good. I'm good. Kathy?
Yeah, thank you. I want to note that Brianna took me on a tour of the country club and the golf course last summer. And your driving was okay, Brianna, but we did stall out and had to be rescued on the course, remember? But anyway, it was great to go out there and kind of be reacquainted with the facility and actually see, the condition of the greens during the summer. And I'm not a golfer, but it's pretty obvious to me that, it was subpar for sure. I really think the discussions today, I really want to bring this back to, that this certainly can be looked at as a real public benefit, a public asset in many ways, because it does serve kids, the schools. Definitely Lisa made a great case, as did Steve, for the economic benefit to the community. As Scott mentioned, Nicole Bailey, our environmental health specialist for North Public Health District, comments on the potential to improve water quality to the folks that live in that area. And so I think, I'm in favor of moving forward, but, once we do get the bids, we still have more questions around, who are the partners going to be in paying for this? Where in the county budget are we going to be looking at possibly our contribution? Who's invited to the table? And I'm just glad to have this out in the public forum. All of the numbers that we just received this morning needs to be out in the public forum for a while. So at this point in time, I'm definitely in favor of moving forward. And it's really nice to see you all at the country club. I'm assuming that's where you all are. So I can't really see who's out there in your faces, but it's nice to see that everyone's gathered there and listening. So thanks, and participating.
All right, very good. So based on this, we have consensus, Tyler, for you to proceed. And there'll be more on this coming up, hopefully, and then probably I'm guessing at this point, if they can get things going, maybe sometime in January or late January, maybe early February. So, all right, with that, I think we will. Is there anything else at this time, Kathy Clark?
No, I think you've covered the entire agenda. We'll recess until 2:30.
Yep. So we're going to recess and we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back at 2:30 this afternoon. We're going to have a work session. Work sessions for us are just discussions about items. There's generally speaking no decisions made, and there's a lot of items we need to talk about. And as was stated earlier in the meeting, a couple of those items, but really the commissioners can bring items that they want to talk about, and we can have a discussion about those as well. So I appreciate everyone being here this morning with us. And if you want to come back and join us, you can come back here at 2:30 this afternoon. Have a nice day, everyone.
Recording stopped.